fast forward of all that time, I started my brand in Iraq. So I had a carpet, like a throw rug, and I drew the state of New Jersey on it with New Jersey's and finest on the rug. And I said, anybody watching this, like, you'll have people comment when you post this, but all my battle buddies were like, what are you doing when you get home? And I already had the plan for a clothing company. So I just would write it everywhere. I draw it on the walls.
So you did
I
your
still have
time.
it. Yeah.
You did your time.
Yeah. And I came home, and within the first year, I started the clothing line, but that started from the ideas
So
I
is
had
the
in Iraq.
clothing line the first business you started out of the military?
Yes. Yep. So had that idea, pushed that, made the shirts, learned about screen printing and everything.
That's how you were taking care of yourself?
That, and I was a landscaper. I did all those other odd jobs I was telling you. I had a CDL at the time, Class A, so I would drive. I had another business with my dad doing like removal, hauling, and all of that too. But that was my first independent business that I started.
And then that starts you on this path of now you're like a serial business owner.
Yep.
So I know you manufacture stuff. Is clothing the first thing that got you looking at manufacturing?
Yeah, it was actually clothing and the little recharge battery cards, the battery packs, the little mini ones.
So you're like the Alibaba guy.
I mean, I got my first idea on Ollie, and then that stemmed into just going direct to the manufacturer.
Yeah, but that's like you could either become a serial Alibaba customer or you kind of get your foot in the door, then you start to say, because they're selling you the same way stores are selling
100%.
you.
Yep.
And that's just another store for a different level of business.
Correct.
So you can go behind that too.
And that's what we do. I have my own, now I have, to fast forward through all that, I have my own staff in Shanghai, and they'll go to the factories on my behalf. But it's NJF Worldwide Shanghai division. It's not them being a broker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it all started there and seeing what they could provide. And I'm like, well, there's a demand for a lot of stuff.
Every time I got into manufacturing products too because I would buy boxing gloves and I'm looking at this and I'm going, I know this stuff doesn't cost this.
Yeah.
How do I figure out? So I would backtrack stuff. And I literally, at one point, I bought gloves from Ringside and I backtracked it all the way back to the factory in Pakistan. And I was like, hey, how can I cut a deal with you that you make me their stuff at their cost?
Okay.
And then just put my logo on it instead of their logo on it. And they didn't want to do it.